Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we're finally back after well over a year. I think it was like a year and a half. There was just a whole lot like going on in my life, and it was just no way to keep up with everything. So something had to go, and what had to go was City Skylines, or really just creating for the internet. I still play City Skylines, just kind of selfishly for myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do want to start a new map in Cities Skylines II. We're going to try it out. I have played a little bit. I've played about 50 hours or so in the game, on and off. I will say I'm not as captivated as I was with the first one yet. I think we'll get there. But at the moment, we're still learning to love the new game. But that's true with anything that's new. So I'm not worried about it. I do know that I want to play a map that allows us to have snow. So far, every map that I've played, I've not been able to get snow. And so I'm looking forward to having some kind of snow set up here. And really, I'm noticing here that we've got a lot more fertile land. Yeah, we got a lot more fertile land, but we really miss out on the ore over here. But I think I want to try this one out. I like the mountains. That looks beautiful. Okay, so, Mannington. Why not? We're just going to leave it. I'm not going to change any of these settings. We're going to actually turn off natural disasters. I kind of just want to play a little bit and just get a sense of the game. I will be totally honest. I don't have like the highest end computer. I built my own, and like at the time that I built it, it's pretty decent, but it is showing its age. You know, computers constantly are evolving and changing. So the settings are pretty low, but the game still runs. Yeah, and the reason I'm doing this today is because I was able to finally add in some mods. So we have our Anarchy mod. We also have the prop line tool mod, which is fantastic. This is like the #1 thing that I was missing before I could actually get in here and start playing. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I want to, oh, I just hit my watch. I want to just go ahead and start laying out, you know, a few things here and there. Where is the button I want? Oh yeah, we want this guy. And I am going to also, you know, now that I say this, I'm going to turn down the volume of the in-game audio, or in-game radio, just because it's a little loud for me. Okay, so I love that we have the contour lines as just an option to have turned on all the time when building. I think that is fantastic. And I did originally start playing on this map, so I know that the air blows. Where's the air? No, that's air. Oh yeah, this is air. Air pollution. So the air is blowing this direction. So I'm going to put all of my industrial probably in this bottom corner here, so that the pollution is just kind of going to blow up to this mountain and disappear instead of blowing towards all my folks. But we got to get started here with some roads. So let's go ahead and just try to... I know it's boring, but I wouldn't mind to kind of get started, like to throw down maybe a grid of some kind. Let's see. Let's not do that. I just said it, but we're not going to do it. We're going to get a little bit of curve here because it stays flat. And we've got $500,000 to start. I really like the way that they have increased the charges for most of the things in this game. But I will say, I think that they are too lax with the intro amount that you get. I really wish that you got far less, to be honest. All right, so right here is a pretty flat area. So although it's not exciting, I am going to, let's bring this out. I guess I like this 280. Bring this out 280 units, and let's just go ahead and place down a massive set of grids. I think 280 by 440. It's a pretty nice grid. It's nice and flat. It would absolutely make sense to have something like that along this edge. I think I want to bring this guy forward here, and I want to go ahead and curve it this direction so that we're able to kind of follow these contour lines a bit. I think for here, this could just truly go straight, and I actually want to see if I can get underneath of this bridge and connect us over this direction. So if we were to come to here... Oh my god, we can. Incredible. All right, so this will go here. And for now, we're just going to send this out straight. And then on this side, I'm going to lay out like probably a decent amount of roads before we get too far along here with actually zoning anything. There's part of me that wants to leave like one of these patches of trees, but I feel like so early on that we don't have the ability truly to just block this whole section of developable land. Like, I need this land. Sorry, but we need it. All right, I will say though, I want to do, I already don't like a few of these roads here. I do want to have another set of grids coming off this way. That is a unique problem. Okay, that's new. We love to see it. But I don't want to go any more than 200. I think 200 is a nice depth. Anything more than that feels a little insane. All right, and then for here, let's go ahead and connect these together. I'm going to go from here, elevation, distance. Distance too short. We haven't done anything yet. What's going on? Why are we a bridge? Because I clicked a bridge. That would explain a lot there. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a curve, which I like. I like that we've got this weird triangle here. Also, if you hear growling or just like huffing in the background, my dog is sitting on a chair right next to the computer, and she's just sleeping away. She's having a grand old time. Good old Lorelei. I recently restarted my Animal Crossing island, and I spent more time than I'd care to admit creating a pixel art version of my dog as the flag for my Animal Crossing island. I know Animal Crossing, like the new one, is like no longer the hit thing, but man, there's something so comforting about that game. I can just sit down and relax and play it, and it just truly feels like I'm able to do anything I want. All right, so what we're gonna do, I like that this curves up, right? So what I'm thinking is, I want to send this to about here. And then I want to kind of curve this direction, and maybe we bring it out so that it's in line here. Ooh. I don't know. Just like a little something different. If we sent this out, let's do it like this. Then we're going to go ahead and throw in an extra curve here. Send it on over. Now, I will say one thing that this game does that I really love is the size of the buildings, especially your ploppable buildings, are massive. Like, absolutely massive. In the best way. I will say, like, that was one thing I think that Cities Skylines I was never able to accomplish. You never really got to have the huge buildings that you would expect. Like, you could mod it in, which now we have modding, which is fantastic. But I always wanted that big cemetery without mods as a base game option, and we never had it. So what's nice about this, I'm liking that we have that capability. There's a lot of improvements that still need to be made to this game. Do I think it was maybe rushed in release? Yes. But I'm still going to have fun with it. I'm still going to sit down and enjoy it, and if that's not your style, that's okay. That's fine. I already hate this little corner. This isn't working. I'm liking using these little roundabouts for kind of cul-de-sacs, but I'm wondering if Elk Street, like if this section here needs to change, and instead we send this out and up just like we did there, and then we send one over this way. I think that could look nice. And what I love about the roundabouts is you get bonus points for this experience, which is definitely different than the last one. We'll get into some of the changes here. I mean, if you've played Cities Skylines or you've watched any Cities Skylines, you know the changes. But for those who watch this just because they like me, thank you, first of all. And second of all, I will try my best to kind of explain some of the differences from this game to the previous game as we go. I think that this can have a little bit more there. We've got some good beachfront or lakefront, riverfront. Speaking of lakefront or beachfront, good God, beachfront. Can you tell it's been a year and a half? I have not yet purchased the like first asset pack, or it's not really an expansion. I'm going to. I just want to like film 3 or 4 of these, see if I even keep up with this, and then if I do, we'll go from there. All right, I've rambled long enough. So I think we've got really like a nice initial setup here. I'm loving that we have this road that crosses over it, which can also go this direction as well. And then we have our main road here that's going to continue out straight, which I think we're just going to go ahead and mark this so that we have it for the future. But we've got our some open areas here as well as some longer blocks. So it'll have some traffic coming in here, but I think it'll push most of that traffic over this way. So before we can do anything, and before we get too crazy, let's go ahead and let me just evaluate this. We've got a double highway coming in here. The highway comes along and goes out straight. Is this a highway road? Yeah, it's a speed limit of 100. So this, I believe, is actually a highway road versus this, which is an avenue, because this has a speed limit of 50. I don't have access to the highway roads yet. And frankly, there's nowhere for this highway to go. If it was going to go, just be prepared. Like I said, my computer's showing its age. There might be some jumps. But I wouldn't mind having the highway come down and go this direction and help service some of this area of the map. And then we can have another one come down this way in the future and also help kind of move people to this half of the river. With that in mind, I think I want to be mindful that I want to use this connection later and probably save this space as like an interchange area. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take our road, autosave. We're taking our road from that first intersection. I'm going to curve it down this slope. I also love, I can't show you because if I move my cursor it changes, but if you notice where it shows at the moment, let's do it this way, 310 right in the middle of this curve. Just below that we've got the actual grade. So this is going down 2.6%, which is fantastic. Like, it's a feature we've needed. I'm so pumped about it. I'm a fan. I don't want to make this like super straight, but I also don't feel like in an industrial area we would curve all that much. So maybe what we'll do is we'll curve a bit here, and maybe to get funky fresh, we'll build our kind of smaller industrial grid off of this little road here. I like 128. I also like 136 a lot. So let's do 136 off of both these sides, right? Bam. And that will kind of just be like the beginnings of our industrial area. For now, the reason I really built that is in this Cities Skylines game, unlike the first one where you could just plug in these high voltage power lines directly to a house, which made 0 sense. In this game, you need transformer stations. So for $30,000, I can build a transformer station, which I'm going to place, I think, right here, because I want the back area here to face out. There's no upgrades to this building. If there were, we'd see them pop up here. But what we get to do with this transformer station is we have regular electric cables, but we also have power lines. The power lines cannot provide power directly to houses, businesses, buildings. They have to connect to a substation or transformer station, which will then, as you notice this yellow line, allow you to transfer that power via the road, which is also something that's new. All right, but for now, we're going to plug into this power line here and just borrow the line from wherever it's coming from. There's no reason for us to build our own power station just yet. And then let's also build I think we're going to just do a water pump. Really, this is the only area that I would want to build the pump, because we also need to build a sewage outlet. I don't really like the water towers, if I'm going to be totally honest. They cost $60,000 to build with $30,000 a month upkeep, whereas a water pumping station only costs $25,000 to build, and it only costs $10,000 a month in upkeep. So I'm not a fan of the water towers. If someone can explain to me where their use would be, I'm open to it. All right. But for now, they're just not it. Let's do an alley. I don't think this needs to be a particularly big road by any stretch of the imagination. Words are not my thing today. Oh, I've got it on grid still. Whoops. All right, we've got all kinds of stuff happening. Let's turn off the snap to zone grid, and then we're going to curve this up and in. I'm happy with that. So now we've got connection here. Not enough electricity, which we have now solved. And then we also have water. We need sewage as well. Now we've got people living over here, so I want to be mindful of that. But there's really no good area to build our sewage because this direction the water's still turning down this way. And we don't have access to any of this yet. So I guess for now, we're just going to place the sewage over here on this side of the river, as far away from the people as we possibly can take it. And then we're just going to take a line and plug it in. Okay, there we go. So now we should have sewage, we should have water, we should have power. So let's go ahead and do some zoning. Why not? So this area here, I'm going to reserve a little bit of it. I want to start here. This feels a bit more suburban to me. It feels like you would have those lower rise houses. By default, it has selected us to start with the European theme. Oh, knocking the mic. I'm going to leave that. We might mess around with some of the different themes later with, you know, the North American style, but I'm fine with just doing the European theme for now. Let's go ahead and just really get crazy and fill out a bunch of spots. I'm going to fill all of this in because I know all of this will be residential. I'm going to leave this square open for now, and I'm also going to fill in this square as well. In the meantime, while that fills in, let's go ahead and give some business here along this main road. And I am going to remove this section. Just going to keep it kind of in an L shape. And then we're also going to just lay down, you know what, for now, let's just do one square. We'll slowly add the industrial as it comes up. I like overbuilding the residential, but the industrial, we'll slowly add it as more need is presented. And I say that, and I have a feeling we're going to need a second one, so let's fill it too. All right, so while we wait for some of this stuff to load in, which, like, beautiful, I love it. I am hoping that you guys can't really hear the wheezing of my computer next to me because she is really trying to get this game recorded so that you guys can enjoy it. But where have I been the past year and a half? So I think my last video, let me get a sip of water here, was published in November of 2022. And I had recorded that video in October of 2022, in the very beginning of October. And the reason for that is that at the end of October of 2022, I got married. And so my husband and I got married in October. In November, I quit my job. In December, I started a new job. In January, we started looking for a house, which we closed on a house in March of 2023. And then wrap it back around to October of 2023, I got an offer for a different job. And so I quit my, at that time, like 1-year-old job in December and started a new job in January of this year. So it's been a wonderful and incredibly hectic year. Learning to be like first-time homeowners, learning a new job, then learning a different new job, and just learning like what it's like to be married. We've lived together for years, but this, you know, now we're married and we've got assets tied to each other and we own property. So just like a lot of life changes happens in quick succession. So all this is building in. Oh, here we go. Our first few houses have built in. If anybody knows, leave a comment and kind of help me here. I'm not totally sure if I understand the setup with the houses right now. Some people are saying you'll get the notice that the taxes are too high if the lot is really big. So you should be building like smaller zoned houses in the beginning instead of these larger plots. I don't know if that's accurate. Like, does this house pay more or less money than this house because the size of the lot? I will say, did not notice that there was a construction percentage. That's pretty cool. Like, for example, this house. This is like, I guess, what, a 2x3 or 2x4? And this one is at least a 5x4, right? So I would think this house is going to pay more taxes. I just don't know if the game is set up in that way. Also, this house, very cool looking. Wow. Fantastic. I also love that we can click on anybody. Oliver Nicholson. Just going to name him Jed. And we're going to follow Jed. So now we've got Jed, who was born in August of 2017. He's now an adult. He's poorly educated. He works at Limzabar. Where's Limzabar? Oh, right here. He moved to the new town. Oh my gosh. It's like, oh, it looked like chocolate. Well, that looks like kiwis. All right, well, he looks at Limzabar, which is also sharing space with Leafy Greens. Fresh all day, every day. All right. Wonderful. I love that. At the moment, people are moving in. Let's go ahead and speed it up to 2 times speed. What I want to do here is just get a few more people moving in. Let some of these populate before we go ahead and fill in all of these spaces as well. I mean, I guess we could fill in this section. And I know that I want people along the water, so I guess we will fill in those as well. And fine, we'll fill in these. Because I want to save a little bit of this area for when we unlock medium density or mid density or whatever it's referred to in this game. Okay. With that in mind, though, again, we've got a nice flat area. I don't anticipate this becoming the, town. This is just going to be this small, little outskirt, little suburb town. But I do want to still have some kind of density or some grid space. 288 is what we did, right? Yes. Perfect. Yeah, I will say, I mean, I'm a little rusty. I can tell. It's been a while since I've played this, so you'll have to just kind of bear with me. Oh no, this block is a little off. That's not straight. So we're going to get rid of that. And then we're going to go ahead and place just one more straight line in here. There we go. I like this as kind of the center. And then we're going to fan out from here. But I think that's a good way to start. Okay, loving the houses. Lots of the same roof, though, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I guess if you zoom out far enough, you can't really tell. So you notice we now have unlocked the medium density residential demand. That was not a part of our demands before. And we've also now got little green indicators on these 3 options here. So one of them is the EU medium density row housing. And we also have the American or North American medium density row housing version of that. I love that these are in the game by default. I think that's phenomenal. In addition to this, I don't think we unlocked anything new there or there. No. But we did unlock healthcare and death care. So we have a clinic and we have a cemetery. And then we also have now access to the landfill as well as a landfill lot tool. So what I want to start with before we do any of those things is I want to come over here to where it says Tiny Village, because we just reached a milestone, which is this little green bar that's going to wrap all the way around this number. We've unlocked a development point that we get to spend however we want. So in the old game, you would get milestones and then just be awarded all of the services that come with said milestone. And now, if there's certain services you never use, you don't have to even buy them. You don't even need to have them in your city. There's no reason to research them if you're not going to use them. We only have 1 point to spend. We can either spend that on a crematorium, which I don't think is a terrible idea because of how large the cemetery is, but I think the crematorium is expensive to run. I can't recall, and you can't undo once you spend a point. So, I got to be committed to what I'm doing here. We could also do an emergency battery station. I'm not concerned about this because we turned down the need, or we turned off natural disasters. We already have the tiny roundabout, which is working for me right now. I'm going to save this one because it's only 1 point for when I don't have anything to spend any money on. I think what I'm going to go for is the advanced road services. Road maintenance facilities, traffic lights, signs, as well as roadside decorations. That's what we're going to do there. Tiny village, we got a loan limit increase of $100,000. Map tiles. We were awarded $600,000, which is just like bonkers. City budget, city statistics. Unlocked some new roads here. Unlocked our development, or our healthcare and death care, and a garbage management on the development tree. Okay, beautiful. Let's check out our budget real quick because here we go. Because we're actually in the positive, which is incredibly strange. I wonder if they were able to fix some of the rebalancing here, because this was always a little sus since they released this game. But taxes, overwhelming majority of our income is coming from taxes. We have a little bit of money coming from city services through electric fees and water fees. No service trade yet. And then we have some government subsidies to help offset the upkeep cost of our resources, our services, as well as our service trade. So this is us importing that electricity from someone else. But at the moment, we have a bit of a demand. And since it takes a while for some things to get built in, I think I would like to go ahead and do a little bit of zoning here. So what I'm going to do is place... How big is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 space. Yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to place 5 back of commercial. Behind said commercial, I'm going to place an alleyway. Let's just go boom, just like that. It's messed up the zoning here, which is going to mess up that building. That is okay with me. And then I want to place another 5 set of commercial. I know we don't need any just yet. I'm just trying to think this out because I also want to have just like nice looking areas. I'm going to place, you know what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to place a path with no intersections there, and now that we have access to the prop line tool, remove some of these trees that are along here. Let's grab the alder. These are the only ones we have access to at the moment. Let's do the poplar. Little small. I actually wouldn't mind doing this guy. What is this? The oak? Yeah, the oak. And then let's go ahead and drag this oak over to here. Turn on anarchy so it doesn't interact with or intersect that tree. And I'm going to reduce the size to 10.
Thank you, Professor.
Do it on both sides. Can we squeeze one more in? Yeah, why not? All right. So now we've got nice little tree line. That's going to change the game for me. It's going to let me do a bit more decorating, which I was not able to do before, and that just it's why I was only able to play for 50 hours before I got a little burnt out. But now we're in a better spot. All right, so I want to put medium density along this row. If I just went in and filled the whole thing like so, we would get plots that are coming off of Beach Street that could be 4 or 5 tiles back. I don't want that. I want tiny little 3 for row homes. So to ensure that that happens, it looks like these medium densities will always only be 1 tile wide, but it's the depth we've got to be concerned about. So if you fill in both ends, then you can just fill in the middle and it will always just fill in with 1 tile sized row homes. But I think that'll look so nice. Now, let's add in some of these services now that some of this demand is being addressed. So I will say frame rate issues abound when I have this overlay view. So if things look choppy, don't worry. It's just because this like white overlay causes some type of issue with the rendering. But so far it's not been too big of a deal. I think I want to have the, well, first of all, let's turn off anarchy so I don't intersect with that road. I think I want to have the clinic facing off the main road So maybe we'll have it here along Beach Street. And we know that there are upgrades. So we have an ambulance depot. This just adds on and covers up that parking lot. Okay, and then what is this? Extensioning additional space for patients. All right, so this attaches to the back or to the sides of the building, which I guess if you had this and this, it would look like one long building, which would look pretty cool. I don't hate that. And I guess you could fit 2 of these. If that goes to there, yeah, you could fit 2 of these if you needed to. All right, but for now, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with this. We'll leave that be. Let's go ahead, and we have more demand for commercial. So I'm going to place some commercial along both ends of this road, Moore Street. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do equal on both sides. And again, I'm really enjoying trying to delineate a block into different things and having different like kind of subsections to each block. So I'm going to also build out some higher density, medium density, excuse me, houses here. Let's go take a look at this though. Oh yeah. You're 92, 90, 83. All right, these are almost done. Oh, autosave. But look at this. So we're getting these beautiful houses. Because they're all the same 3 depth, for now, there's only, I think, 1 model. So this is all going to look the same. Whereas over here, we're going for a before depth, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is going to allow for a bit more differentiation in the design. We've got our path here. Let's go ahead and slap down some trees. Can I figure out what tree this is? That's a birch tree. Beautiful. I know that if I delete it, it has to regrow from scratch, and I'm okay with that. Spruce, pine, poplar, birch. Give me that line tool. I want to fit 1 more. Almost. Beautiful. I actually would be fine with... Oh, I can't edit it. Like fine tune it. Okay, that's fine. Bam. We got a line of birch trees. So all that's going to be filling in. We've got some people who are upset waiting for a hearse. Ooh, waiting for a hearse. I am terribly sorry. I don't have any yet. So let's address that. Death care. Bam. As you can see, nobody's got good death care around here. I know that we're going to have some kind of highway interchange over here. And again, these are just so big that I'm reluctant to just slap it in the middle of any of these areas, although it would fit right here just fine. So although I said I'm reluctant, I think this is going to go right here. Cover the whole area in stars. Beautiful. We've got some gas station signs, which I love. I don't mind this tiny little alley either. We'll see how that does with traffic. It should be, you know, I would think fine here just because there's not a whole ton going on in this area, but I'm excited about it. All right, I think that this section is going to be regular schmegular houses again. All right, new signature building unlocked. Pop Musician Mansion. I think I do want to continue on. We did a bunch of 5s, right? Let's give it a 6. Let's see what a 6 does. Yeah, 6 might split it into a few different buildings, which I think will look nice. It'll give us an interesting view. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and do another alley. I don't know. I feel like I like this idea a lot. I'll put an alley here. Or do we just want to do a regular road? Maybe we do an alley along this area. Let's do some math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. So if we did here, we would get rid of equal ones on both sides. All right, this is going to go here. Why not, right? Let's just do it. We've got a little alley. It's just meant for driving. It's not going to do any support for parking or any of that. That's fine. What we can then go about doing, I never really solved this area, but we could Could always do like a little boop. No, we won't. We won't. We're going to leave it. I think what we're going to do is we're going to fill this whole thing in with commercial. We don't really have a demand for more residential. Oh, wow. Loving those. Loving those. They're great. These are still under construction. And I will say, so we unlocked the road services, and one of those options is to add these trees. I don't know if I love this yet. I'm working on loving it. I find having to place all these trees individually to be a lot of work. So we'll see. But I'm excited to maybe see, and I haven't played again long enough to know, but if these trees grow and make this area feel like older, that's going to be really cool. I keep seeing these bubbles. Let's check on, oh, I thought we followed Jed. Did Jed leave us? Didn't Jed live like over here? I thought he lived in this house. The Wallace family, which includes Angelina Wallace and their pet named Apple. I guess Jed left. All right. Well, Jed, it was nice knowing you for the brief amount of time that we did. I think we're going to go ahead and also fill in this area here. Bam. Let's get to level 2, and then I think that's kind of where we're going to call this episode. And let's just see where we get from there. What do we got here? Oh, yes, these are both add-ons. So we would have to change the road network or something, eminent domain these houses, if we get to a place where we need either of those. But for now, we're going to be just fine. Let's go ahead and also, I'll place down this pop musician's mansion because I'm curious. Although I don't know if I have a place I want to put it. What is the benefit of this? +2 well-being within 500 meters. I assume one of these squares is like 10 meters? What would 500 meters look like? 500 meters... Oh, it's pretty decent. All right, if that's the case, then I'm going to place this like in the heart of this area. It's going to knock down some houses. It did get us that second level, which we love. But what's nice is it kind of just, it shifts this up a bit. It's not all going to look exactly the same, which we want. Because we've got this pop star's mansion here, though, I think it would be useful to, along Manor Street maybe, just add a bunch of trees. Now, I know you can click and drag. I know that much. I just wish, I don't know, I think I wish this was done a bit differently. I don't know what differently, though, means or how I would have done it. So maybe I just need to keep my mouth shut. Let's put trees on both sides. Manor Street is going to get trees. That's going to be like a dividing factor for us. I love that. We've got a bunch of trees and small shrubs and things for these houses, which I believe will level up as the houses level up, because this is a much larger alder than the tiny little ones that we've planted. I mean, I know these are birch trees, but they're much different in terms of size. Yeah. So this birch tree has 2,000 wood available. This birch tree has 20 available. So with time, it should keep growing. So we got small village milestone, 700,000 infusion in cash, which I am now noticing that we are negative on that money, so I should check that out here in a second. We got 2 development points and 4 permit expansions, which I will say, loving this new setup for unlocking land. I like that the tiles are smaller. I think that that's much better. And I'm looking forward, like, I don't need some of these tiles. So if I had to buy this whole square, that would suck. But knowing I can buy a third of it, which is more buildable, so much better. So huge fan of that. What else did we get here? NA medium density housing, EU medium density housing, education and research elementary school and high school. Oh, great. We'll definitely be doing the elementary school. And I'm realizing that I think education is kind of the path to getting the higher level buildings. Like, you need that education to really start unlocking things. So we're going to go ahead and unlock a college just like right off the bat. Nothing really changed here for us in any of these. So I think what we'll do is we'll grab this roundabout while we wait. And then I think I want to work on getting parking lots with our next expansion. But for now, I think that's where we're going to leave this part. I have no idea how to work the camera mode. One of these days, I'm going to learn all this. Like, what's Super 8mm? I don't know. I'm also bummed that Jed is no longer with us. Goodbye, Jed. It was nice knowing you for just a few moments. But I think this is a good start. So let me know what you think of this in the comments below, and hopefully you enjoy it. And I will see you guys in the next one.